So you guys been wanting me to change the theme song sound quality, but I'm gonna keep the same song. So here we go. This girl reviews movies, games, and books. Just how she plays them, and she does that. She does it with the cat. Does that make her crazy? Does that make her crazy? Probably. Hopefully that fixed the audio. Crazy Cat does not own any of these pictures or books or pictures. I use them under fair use for educational purposes, so the people who watch them learn a little bit something when they do it. Hopefully that fixed the audio. I only did all those years ago. No, I don't want to do this. I'm scared of this thing. Please move it. Alright, sadly we got another actor who has passed away. One that's kind of died pretty young. He had cancer. This was Julian Mcmahon. I know him mostly for two. I know he's done other things, but these are things that I watched. So, also, the ones that I know him personally from watching is the Fantastic Four movies, the ones that came out in 2005 and 2007. And he also was in Charlie, played Cole / Balthazar in that one. He also did a little bit of some season of The Source, All Evil. So, aka the devil, I guess you can say, but for some reason they were afraid to say the devil word. There's like almost as bad as Powerpuff Girls, but so yeah. But it's sad here that he passed away. Sadly he had cancer. He is 56, so pretty young. So I decided I was gonna do a review of an episode of Charm, but I did not know which one to pick. I did watch two of them, but then I decided, since we are getting that Fantastic Four movie in a couple weeks, might as well watch the one that came out 20 years ago now, because it's 2025, and repairments of it, and to pay respect for one of the actors. So this movie is, I would say it's alright. It's not perfect, because the heroes kind of really don't do much. Mostly in that, but what they do is because of what they have limitation of what they have to do in this movie. Because since they have technically 5 people that they have to show off, using CGI and costumes and stuff like that. But I think what they could do at that time period was pretty good. So this movie is about 5. I know we used to say 4, but we gotta include Dr. Doom, because he is the one that also was there at when the cloud hit them. So Reed Richards wants to find ways to cure some diseases and study DNA by going up into space by bringing back a particle cloud into space. And when we have it being funded by Victor Von Doom, who is now dating Reed Richards' ex-girlfriend Susan Storm, and they're also gonna bring Sue's younger brother Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm to be like the pilot, and help them study it. Now, when they get up there, the cloud goes haywire and hits all 5 of them. Now we don't really know that it hits Victor until probably around halfway for the movie, but it does show that he has a scar from it, so or it's already showing that he's been hit by it, even though he was inside of the shield area, and that makes you think that he was not hit like the other 4 were. Now I think it has to do with how each of them their powers has to do with how each of them were in the situation. Like Ben was the most exposed since he was right out there in space, so he gets the most hit of it, where he can't turn it off. It even shows them like them doing their powers right before right when they get hit by the cloud. Like we see Ben look like a rock, we see Johnny turn to fire, we see Reed stretch, and we see Sue disappear. So it's kind of like them using their powers for the very first time. But it does take a while for the thing to take effect, because Ben is normal for a while. Johnny takes a while to heat up. Sue does turn invisible, and Reed does not stretch until like at least all of them don't get infected until like 3 straight days later. Now they were studied, and we see Johnny go to up to 209 when he gets first start showing like side effects of it, and but the full side effects happens when he's like snowboarding with a girl that he likes. I think it's the nurse that was trying to tell him you cannot go out, but obviously and he does not listen. And yep, he is played by Chris Evans, who in the future does play Captain America. Right around Ben goes to sleep, and then he transforms into the Thing. But we don't. Then he like runs off because he realizes what he looks like and tries to go home to his fiance. I think, because since it's only one ring, it has to be fiance. If he was married, he would be there would be 2 rings on her finger. And he tries to show her a surprise and see if she still loves him, even though he looks different. Which nope, she's scared. And he's going to a bridge to reflect, I guess you can say. And then we see somebody wanting to jump, and Ben saves him, but they cause an accident. Pretty much happened because the guy almost gets hit by a car, and he stops hit by a truck. He ends up breaking the semi, saving the driver, and then there's a fire that happens. And Johnny ends up saving a kid. Mr. Fantastic, Reed and Ben save firefighters, and Susan ends up containing the fire, and so they get called heroes. But they pretty much caused in this accident, so I don't know. Do you really want to go that far? They get called Fantastic Four, and they get their names during this, pretty much. And this is when we find out that that Victor is going to lose his company because of since the Thing didn't work that well, but it did for other people, for the people who were there, but not the way they wanted it to, where it would make them money. So Victor's mad and wants to get revenge on his board director. So they end up going back to Reed's the Baxter building, where we meet Stanley, who ends up being the mailman. He promised Ben to turn him back to normal after his wife put down the ring and said, "Prince, no, I'm not going to marry you." He has to do like a bunch of tests on himself and his friends, but not knowing that he's really to do test on Victor because he got hit too. But he's mostly gets done by his doctor, who ends up getting killed because he tells him that we should try to contain this, thinking it's some type of disease, thinking that he wants a second opinion because he doesn't want to get caged up. Johnny ends up doing like a supernova, which is the heat of the sun. We have a lot of jokes between Susan and Reed about like how far he can stretch and how long she can stay invisible. But but they cannot stay hooked up for too long, and both Sue and Johnny go out, and she finds out her name is an invisible woman, and she ends up being chased, so she's disappearing so she would not get caught. And Johnny ends up doing race carring and leaving before he's supposed to, and making Ben mad because he called him the Thing. He ends up leaving after he destroys Johnny's car, and after they go into a fight, and meets a woman who actually doesn't mind him, a blind woman named Alicia, who pays for his drink and accepts him for who he is, because she does feel his body, and tries to make him say it's okay to be different. And he's going to ends up leaving after he breaks a few things, and after she leaves, and goes to a restaurant where Victor pays for his meal, because he's wants to get rid of these four, but also get more powerful. But first he wants to make Ben get mad at Reed, so he would get rid of the bodyguard. Reed tries to do the reverse on himself, but it doesn't work because there's not enough power. And so Victor helps Ben do it by getting more power and making him more affected by the cloud, where it's full. We clear that he's been affected by it, and Ben's now back to normal. And this is when he goes after Reed and hits him with his electricity and freezes him, shoots like some type of fire missile thing at Johnny, and Sue goes and saves him while the fire thing's going after Johnny. And Johnny's able to outsmart it by shooting his fire on an island, and goes after the fire that he shot instead. Ben gets himself re-hit by the power accelerator thing, so he can go and save Reed from being frozen, because Susan's not strong enough. Even though we have like a silly joke of Victor saying Marco Polo. And then we have the great line where Ben says, "It's clobbering time!" And now it's time for all four of them to face Dr. Doom. And Reed shows him who's actually smarter, because he says, "What happens when you hit water with metal that's recently been hit by fire? Chemistry 101. It ends up freezing." So, because Johnny hit the supernova on him, while Sue contains it, and then Ben breaks a fire hydrant and hits him with water, and then he ends up freezing. So yeah, I guess we find out who's actually the smarter one. So yeah, and then the movie ends with them like celebrating that he's gone, but he also gets contained by one of his like minions, stolen up for the next movie. So what do I think about this movie? I'm probably gonna give this movie like a 7 out of 10. I wish, because like I said, I really wish they would like done more with it, because most of the time it was them like being contained and like study what they were. So, but we'll see what happens when the new movie comes out with new actors in it. But I just mostly this movie also because since the new one's coming out, and since Josh Winkler died, so, and also because I guess this movie's like 20 years old now. So Julius McHanson, hopefully I said it right. I think I spelled it wrong on here, but anyway. So see you guys later. Like, favorite, and subscribe, and bye-bye.